I'll take your questions, and as usual, folks, they gave me a list of the people I'm going to call on. So, Jonathan, Associated Press.
Yep, there's a list. Fox News is never on the list. Let's bring in Fox News contributor Lara Trump. She joins us right now. She's shaking her head. Lara, the White House wants to manage him. Jen Psaki admitted on David Axelrod's podcast that she does not recommend him taking shouted questions. Of course, that's the only way our correspondent ever gets anything answered.
Well, remember the good old days, guys, whenever Donald Trump would walk to Marine One unprepared, no note cards, he would just go and say, you. He would call on anybody and everybody. We had transparency from our White House. I mean, this is important stuff because the American people have a right to hear from our president of the United States. I mean, this is crazy stuff. The fact that this guy is out there saying, they told me to do X, Y, and Z. Here's my list. Oh, I'm going to get in trouble. Are you kidding me? Joe Biden, you're the president of the United States. Think about the message and the signal that this sends to our adversaries, to Vladimir Putin, to Kim Jong-un, to Xi Jinping, to people that are kind of looking for weakness within the United States. It makes us look ridiculous. It is embarrassing, and we're getting no information from the president. It's crazy.
Sure, and so ultimately, who writes the list, and who's running the White House?
Isn't that the million-dollar question? Wouldn't we like to know who is actually in charge, who is calling the shots, who they are that are going to get Joe Biden in trouble? I think that is the really concerning thing here. I mean, it seems as though they just put, executive orders in front of him. He signs them. They give him talking points. They give him lists. He goes out there. They keep him very coddled. They ask him about his ice cream flavors. And then he goes home and goes to bed. And the American people are just supposed to look the other way and not think twice about it. But it is a really serious problem when you have people out there who actually are looking to possibly cause harm to the United States. Will this guy hold up? Will he actually have his own thoughts and own ideas? And what would he actually do? Or is somebody else calling the shots behind the scenes? Interesting question. I wish I knew the answer.
What about the CNN reporter, Caitlin Collins? She asked him, she said, how can you be confident that Putin will change? I mean, that is a legitimate question. He didn't like it. He came back and started pointing his fingers and told her she was in the wrong profession.
Well, isn't it interesting that now CNN, who generally is there to cover everything for Joe Biden, for the Biden family, is now realizing, oh my gosh, maybe by doing what we have done over the past 5 years and just attacking Donald Trump and coddling Democrat candidates, specifically Joe Biden, maybe this is a problem. Right. Obviously, I think his response was way over the top, and it shows maybe why they don't, Ainsley, want him to be taking questions shouted at him. He clearly cannot handle them.
So, Laura, it seems like a month ago, but it was only a week ago where Kamala Harris was in Guatemala and Mexico and had real struggled with the communiques as well as the Q&A portion, and came back, just did not have good answers, to the point where people are writing up that Kamala Harris was not a good candidate, has never been strong on stage, has never been good in interviews, and is being held back. Now that everybody's home and back in their respective homes, do you expect her to feel some actual heat?
I really wish I could answer that question and say yes, because she needs to do something about our southern border. She needs to answer questions. She can't just laugh them off and cackle about it like she's been doing. But don't forget, she dropped out of the race, guys, for the Democrat primaries before her home state of California even voted. She was polling at 2%. She dropped out before Marianne Williamson even did. She was not a very popular person, and clearly she probably thought, maybe I'm in over my head here. Now she is vice president of the United States, and I think we're seeing the consequences of possibly choosing a person based on identity politics, based on their gender and not qualifications. This is what you get. Again, an embarrassment for America, for her to go down to Guatemala, be called out by the Guatemalan president like we talked about a week ago, saying, you're the problem. The problem is Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and the policies. We didn't have this issue under President Donald Trump. So embarrassing embarrassing, but look, I hope she feels some heat. I hope that this problem gets addressed. But again, I think they're going to play it out as long as they can and try to just sweep it under the rug.
She's even getting slammed by illegal immigrants, saying that she hasn't followed through with her promise for amnesty, which they ran on that and they didn't give that. And so they're furious with her. Thank you so much, Lara.
Thanks, guys.
You're welcome. Let's check in with senior meteorologist Janice Dean.